Have you felt the floor sag under every borrowed rule? Apologizing for wanting, waiting for permission to act, switching masks to keep up with a world that revises its commandments by the hour. Have you noticed how guilt clings to you no matter which tribe you serve? How dating feels like a tribunal? How work praises compliance as virtue and calls initiative a threat? How the cold of 3 a.m. asks a question no algorithm can answer. By what law are you living? Friedrich Nietzsche names the crisis without anesthesia. The old guarantees have collapsed. God is dead means the highest authority you outsourced your conscience to has gone silent in your culture. The vacuum breeds 2 sons, nihilism and herd obedience. He refuses both. He demands that a man become a creator of values rather than a collector of approvals. This is not tantrum against tradition. It is the sober task of authorship. The aim is severe and joyful, to stop leasing a soul and build one. Nietzsche's announcement is not a victory shout. It is an autopsy. The crowns of yesterday still sparkle, but they do not command. People wear them for photographs and vote by appetite. In that silence, most men do one of 2 things. They float on entertainment until their lives dissolve into pleasant ash, or they join a chorus loud enough to imitate meaning. Neither path can carry a man. The first breeds a soft despair that smells like comfort. The second breeds moral exhaustion. New slogans, same emptiness. To hear God is dead is to admit that the old scaffolds no longer bear your weight in public life. It is also to see an opening, the obligation to decide what is good without outsourcing the decision to a crowd that changes its mind by noon. Nietzsche does not invite cruelty, he invites courage. If no cosmic clerk will stamp your forms, the forms you choose will stamp you. Begin by noticing where you smuggle borrowed commandments into your day. Be agreeable or be punished. Never offend or be banished. Wanting is selfish. Visibility is pride. How many of these are fear in a moral costume? The collapse of external authority reveals the habits by which you quietly avoided responsibility. Without an unquestioned law above you, the question shifts from "what will they allow?" to "what will I endorse and pay for?" The old sky dissolves. Your spine must take its place. This is where men feel lonely. Good. Loneliness is the first room of authorship. You cannot draft values from a swarm. You must draft them from a desk, a walk, a mirror. The test of your first principles is not whether they trend. It is whether they can instruct you when sleep is thin and options are expensive. Expect accusation. Expect the ache of not being carried. But also expect the lightness of a man who no longer negotiates his existence in other people's moods. The announcement is a wound and a summons. If the sky is quiet, your life must begin to speak. Nietzsche's genealogy of morals strips politeness off motives. He distinguishes a morality birthed by strength from a morality birthed by resentment. Slave morality sanctifies what keeps the strong down and labels that sanctity humility. It calls prudence courage, envy justice, and fear compassion. It flourishes on the timeline, in HR handbooks, and in romances where approval replaces admiration. A man raised in this weather learns to moralize his caution. He praises his own harmlessness and wonders why desire rots into secrecy. The key symptom is inverted pride. You feel superior because you do not act. You congratulate yourself for what you refrain from rather than for what you build. You curate woundedness. You gather grievance like credentials. This is not mercy. It is a strategy for control. The weak using shame to keep the strong from waking. Nietzsche offers an X-ray. Where guilt is used to prevent excellence, morality has decayed into a tool of ressentiment. where the noble impulse to protect the vulnerable becomes a ban on ranking, on standards, on admiration. Ethics has been captured by the frightened. If you would become a creator of values, you must first burn counterfeit currency. Name the places where you call your fear care. Name the friendships glued together by synchronized dislike. Name the lines you will not cross because the crowd has agreed that adulthood is aggression. Then begin the dangerous work of refusing guilt that was never yours to carry. To stop apologizing for existing is not arrogance, it is oxygen. You cannot protect anyone while breathing through someone else's straw. This unlearning does not end in cruelty. It ends in responsibility. The man who drops slave morality does not mock the weak. He stops teaching them to worship weakness. He treats pity as a solvent and respect as a cure. He stops measuring his goodness by how small he can make himself and starts measuring it by what he can carry without complaint. You will be called proud for standing. Wear the accusation like weather. It is the fee for leaving a nursery. The alternative is to live as a specialist in excuses while calling that specialty virtue. No woman admires it. No child learns from it. No brother is strengthened by it. Step out. Nietzsche's will to power is slandered as a license to trample. He meant something cleaner. The impulse to shape form, to stamp reality with your selection, to turn raw existence into art. Domination is the addiction of men who cannot create. Creation is the vocation of men who can be entrusted with strength. If God as external law has gone quiet, the living alternative is not whim. It is a disciplined authorship that turns chaos into order by choosing. The question is what you will choose and whether you can keep choosing when praise thins. Start with ranking. A man who cannot rank his goods collapses under options and tells himself he is being inclusive. Rank sleep above scrolling, training above talk, truth above tribe, craftsmanship above clout, loyalty above novelty, long work above sudden noise. Rank not as a slogan, but as a schedule. Values are not thoughts you announce. They are priorities you practice until they leave grooves. The workshop begins when your calendar and your bill pay your mouth's debts. Revaluation also means examination. Which inherited shoulds still serve the highest in you? Keep those without apology. Which inherited shoulds are brakes installed by frightened teachers and exhausted peers? Remove them with care, like bad wiring from a house you intend to live in without burning. Expect sparks. Expect days when you miss the ease of outsourcing. Remember, every removal is for the sake of a build. You are not deconstructing to preen. You are clearing ground for weight. Form requires solitude. The creator cannot be forever accessible. Withdraw to decide not to sulk. Return with selections. Speak in declarations that cost you something. A fixed hour for your craft. A rule for speech you will obey when anger rises. A pledge for money stronger than appetite. This is not self-help confetti. It is law. A man who begins to legislate his days discovers a secret. The world yields a little to people who clearly carry their own standard. You will feel the old hunger for applause scratch at the door. Feed it with one treat. The respect of a small circle that measures you by results. Everyone else can wait. Will to power as form means you shape first the territory closest to your hands, your body, your room, your line of work, until your selections become visible without captions. That visibility is not bragging. It is a lighthouse. Others may steer by it. Some will try to smash it. Keep the lamp trimmed. Nietzsche calls it the highest art, to give style to one's character. In a vacuum of authority, style is not fashion, it is geometry. It gives edges to a life so that force can pass through it without scattering. Begin with the body. A man who lives entirely in ideas grows brittle. A man without ideas grows animal. Train to make your will visible, strength as reliability, endurance as patience, coordination as grace under stress. Eat to stay sharp, sleep to stay useful. The body is not a shrine to worship, but a tool to preserve. Style then enters speech. The undisciplined mouth ruins the day's architecture. Decide how you will talk when accused, when praised, when bored. Refuse the cheap enemy. Refuse sarcasm that corrodes your own respect. Replace reactive venting with clear sentences that name facts. Allocate responsibility, propose repairs, and accept losses. Do not perform your feelings for strangers. Do not suppress them for the people you owe the inside of your face. A styled voice wastes no one's time. The discipline of yes and no is the spine of value creation. Yes is a vow. No is a wall. Without the wall, your vows rot. Select your burdens aloud and early. This partner, this craft, these children, this virtue. Let your selections rearrange your pleasures. You are done buying temporary relief that invoices your future. When temptations come that would dissolve your form into mood, practice cheerful refusal. When opportunities come that align with your standard but terrify your nerves, practice cheerful assent. Cheerfulness is not fakery. It is the tone of a man at home in his law. Expect seasons where you carry your code like a wet coat. Keep walking. Style ripens. People you respect will begin to recognize the rhythm and trust it. People who relied on your inconsistency will accuse you of hardness. Answer by remaining kind and unbendable. There is no contradiction. An unbendable kindness is what grown men give to a world that punishes clarity. You are not auditioning for sainthood. You are building a form capable of love that is not bribery and work that is not theater. When Nietzsche hints at the higher man, he is not proposing a tyrant. He is sketching a craftsman who writes law into his days. That law orders love without sentimentality and work without slavery. In romance, do not moralize your fear of choosing. Choose. Do not outsource standards to trends. Set pace, speak desire cleanly, protect the other's dignity when you end, and never beg manipulation to count as passion. The man who creates values treats intimacy as a covenant with requirements, not an improvisation scored by mood. In work, refuse the cult of busyness. The legislated life enshrines deep tasks and patrols against distraction with guard dogs. It cultivates competence so that generosity is funded rather than promised. It accepts hierarchy where hierarchy produces excellence and resists it where hierarchy protects mediocrity. It pays bills on time and debts in full because a creator's word must be boringly reliable. It hires and fires without malice, trains successors without jealousy, and treats profit as fuel, not as God. In play, he laughs without cruelty, drinks without turning into a child, and entertains himself with games that strengthen rather than savage. He risks adventures that leave him better. He refuses entertainment that requires the humiliation of others, including the humiliation of his future self. He learns music, or mountains or machines, not because they can be posted, but because the soul thickens around skill. The artist legislator also orders worship. If your culture's God has died, you will still bow. Everyone does. You can kneel to screens, to sex, to status, to grievance, to substances, or you can kneel to the highest within reach. Truth you would die to protect, beauty that makes you silent, goodness that costs. The bow you choose will aim your days. Choose without costume. Your house will tell on you. So will your children. None of this is a performance for superiority. It is the clean happiness of coherence. To create values is to make peace between your mornings and your nights. It is to stop living in apology and start living in promise. It is the only antidote to a civilization that has confused kindness with surrender and conscience with compliance. Make a law worth living under and invite those you love to enjoy its shade. A man who writes his own code will be misread. Some will call him arrogant because he no longer asks for their permission. Some will call him cruel because his no has teeth. Some will call him naive because he refuses cynicism as a badge. Bear it. You are not carving a brand, you are carving a life. The trials will not be abstract. Money will run thin at inconvenient times. A relationship will punish your refusal to play weak. A scandal may rake your name across a square because you refuse to chant with a crowd. These are not signs you chose wrongly. They are proof that creation meets resistance. Nietzsche's courage is not the absence of pain. It is the assignment of it. Let suffering refine your selection rather than erase it. Adjust tactics without selling the crown. If a principle costs you a room, keep the principle and find a better room. If an error harms someone, repair it in the currency they need: time, money, public correction, and do so without self-pity. The code you write must be strong enough to discipline you. A law that only bites others is vanity. There will be days when meaning thins. Light a small fire. Keep 1 hour of craft, 1 mile of movement, 1 page of the book that outlives your timeline, 1 act of service no one can see. Do not negotiate those. They are the screws that hold the form together when weather claws at it. Return to the few sentences you chose when you were clear and repeat them as orders to yourself, not as slogans to impress anyone. The joy that returns is not giddy. It is the satisfaction of hearing your own feet on stone. You are not required to be perfect. You are required to be responsible. The world will continue to sell you templates with applause built in. Decline. The gift you owe to those who rely on you is not moral theatre. It is reliability under pressure. The gift you owe to yourself is a name you can sign without flinching. If the sky is quiet, let your day speak in a voice you would respect if you met it across a table. If this struck you, if you're tired of borrowing commandments, tap like and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Share this video with one person who needs it today. A friend, brother, teammate, or partner stuck in this exact loop. And subscribe for more sharp, no-fluff psychology on self-authored values and masculine strategy. New pieces are coming. Don't miss them.